All right, guys, so welcome back. If you are a new subscriber, awesome. If you're not and you're watching this video, boom, subscribe. All right, so I want to talk to you today about your fire going out and dying. There's a few things that can happen. One, you neglect your fire. Two, you don't breathe life into it every day. And three is where it all goes downhill. Three is when you give up. You see, in order to keep your fire going in life, you have to take a log all the time, get new wood, good wood, learn how to build your fire. Get it built, take that tinder, put it in there, let it on fire, and breathe the life in to the fire. Once the fire goes out, we all know what happens. It's cold, and there's nothing there, there's no life in it. And I'm not here to tell you, or teach you how to start a fire, like an actual fire. I'm here to talk to you about your life, because see, it's something that I've had trouble with for a really long time, because there were some questions that I didn't answer and I didn't even look at. I just kept ignoring the questions. Like, what's my code in life? We all need a code to live by. Who am I? For a long time, I questioned that. And so those two questions alone, unanswered, can put you in a very bad state in life. Really. For a long time, I dealt with fear, anxiety, depression, all that kind of stuff, and it's a very real thing. And I know a lot of people who have dealt with that and are still dealing with that, and it's a very real thing. It's a very real struggle, and folks, a lot of the time, just don't know how to get out of that. And so there are quite a few ways to help yourself mentally, emotionally, and one of my ways is, one of my releases is music, writing, but the number one thing that really helps me is praying. And maybe you don't pray, but I want you to understand, prayer is really easy. It's like having a conversation with one of your friends, and you're telling them about your day, and you're telling them about how things went wrong, and so on and so on. And so that's what it's like talking to God. Maybe you feel like prayer is one-sided, but that's not the truth. See, God listens, He hears, and His Word also says that He understands our groanings inside. When you don't have the words, when you can't vocalize, when you can't express it, God hears that in your heart, into the deepest places within us. God hears it. And so, there's so many things that we could go over right now that have to do with your fire dying. But remember, if you don't get that wood, good wood, and build it, put the tinder in there and breathe new life every day into your fire. See, we all have visions, goals, and dreams, right? And so those visions and those goals and those dreams, regardless of what other people may point out in your life, regardless of what other people may do or say to show you that you have talents inside of you. Each one of us is born knowing, like we know, we just get to a place in life, we know what our visions and our goals and our dreams are. So we start looking at things, and there's something inside of us that just says, I want that. I want to do that. You see, like myself, it was martial arts. And so for a long time, I did martial arts, Tai Bong Soo Do. And it's a really cool martial art. And, I was afraid of, I did this test for a long time because we practiced with a breakaway board. It's actually pretty hard, but it still broke down the middle. So when you hit it, it would just collapse, right? And so for a long time, I was practicing an elbow strike because when I got to my test for my purple belt, that is what I had to do. And I was focused and I practiced for months and I was really getting good at it. And then I get to the test and the black belt master says, I want you to do a 1-inch break. And I knew what a 1-inch break was, but I wasn't prepared for that. So it was just in my mind, I was freaking out and I didn't know what to do. And I remember this scene in a movie called Bloodsport starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. And there was this moment where he had to get in to the Bloodsport underground fighting competition, and he had to do what's called a Din Mak, death touch. And so there's all these bricks lined up, and he had to hit it with such a force in such a way that he didn't break all the bricks here. He broke the brick at the very bottom, and it had to turn to dust. And he focused, and he was able to do it. And see, so that's what I did, and I focused, and I was able to do that. It's like a 1-inch break, boom, went right through that thick board, and it was an amazing feeling. And so one of the biggest common denominators in anybody going forward in life and keeping their fire alive is fear. Fear can blind us, fear can shackle us, and it can bind us in so many different ways. It can get you to doubt the most ridiculous things of life. And so what you have to do, and this is what I've had to do in my life, because see, I'm a fighter. I don't give up. I had to look fear straight in the eyes. And I had to tell it no. Because fear almost killed me. Fear was going to take my life away. And I know that's what fear is trying to do in your life, is trying to take you down. You see, the word of God says that the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he will send whatever he can to bring you down and to destroy your life and to keep you from moving forward into the areas that God put inside of you to go into and move into in life. Your dreams. What are your dreams? What's a passion in your heart? What are you fighting for? What gets you out of bed every day? What excites you? And for me, like I say, martial arts is one of those things. It excites me. I've watched so many martial art movies. My brain is gonna burst if I watch one more. And for a long time, I didn't know if I was going to get to pursue my dream. And then one day, I get a letter in the mail, and it says, you've been accepted to AKA American Karate Academy. And I was so excited, man, and I had to run and show everybody that I could get to, and I was very excited, and it actually turned out to be a friend of my mom and dad's that paid for an entire year for me to do it. And it was so exciting. And so I followed that, and I was great at it, and I did well. And the giant heavy hanging bag, I actually broke that and snapped the chain holding it snapped. And look, when you believe that you can do something, when you know it, when you see that you can do it, and you get that glimmer of hope, that comes in, pow, an explosion. And you're like, I can do this. What was I so afraid of the whole time? This is so amazing. And maybe a lot of this seems cliche to you, but there are people out there that I'm speaking to right now. And you're saying, man, what you're saying is making a lot of sense. There's a whole lot of truth packed in here. Man, follow your dreams. Whether you want to be good or even better as Lindsey Stirling playing the violin, whether you want to be better than Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Scott Adkins, or anybody, you can do it. And I know that you will do it. Because the first step always seems the most terrifying, but once you do it, you can breathe again and your lungs are filled with air and you have strength and vigor. And then you just go forward and you get it done. Pursue it. Pursue it, whatever that passion is inside of you. And the more you pursue it, the more you build that fire up in your life. And it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it attracts other people. And they say, look how big that guy's passion is. That's amazing. I can see it from outer space. And that attracts people. And that doesn't also just attract people, that helps people. And so you can be a big help to a lot of people before you die and up until the day. You can be someone who says, you can do it, man. Look, I did it. It wasn't hard. Let me help you. And that's the whole point of me making these videos. I've been sick. I've been down. I ate a lot of Easter candy and it made me worse. I've been dealing with a lot. But I was sitting on my bed. And I literally heard my mom's voice say, you can't let it win. You can't let it win. And that was referring to fear. It's the moment you let it win, man, you will be a prisoner for life. But don't you want to be a prisoner to your passions and to your goals and to your dreams and to the things that just set you on fire? You can literally become a log on someone's fire that has gone out. That's why I want to say these things to you. That's why I want to make these videos for whoever sees it and for whoever that it inspires. That's why I'm doing this. I know what it is. I understand. I've been there. Not reading from a script. This is literally from my cell phone right now. I don't have anything in front of me or around me. It's just life experience. Things that I've done, things that I've experienced, things that I've gone through, things that I've fought. You can do it. Every step is a new breath for you. And every breath that fills your lungs is a moment for you to turn things around. Be like the samurai. Fearless. They would look death itself in the eye and say, not today. You're done. Goodbye, fear. Look. Do it. And I guarantee, do it. Cut the head off fear. I'm talking about the word fear. Crush it, step on it, beat it up, turn it black and blue, set it ablaze. I don't care. Even if you take all the things that have scared you up until this point in your life and you write it on a piece of paper and you go out on a grill or wherever you can build a fire safely and put that on that fire and set it ablaze. Do it. And I guarantee the way you see yourself and life and situations will change drastically. So hey, my friends, roll up your sleeves and destroy fear. All right, guys, you can do it.